Oh, hey, gosh. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Jonny Hansen, and these are my lofty thoughts. And this is going to be episode 76, and it is the day after the election. Now, you think, boy, look at that new flag behind him. He must be patriotic. I am. How I think. I try to be. I believe I am. But my son, my 22-year-old son, when he was with us, when he stayed with us last time, he brought this and he had it hung out. He stayed for like a month. And we love when he stays for as long as he wants to. Hey, Sebastian. He brought this flag and then he left it hanging above the bed because it was kind of his backdrop to his bed. He thought it was cool. I think it's cool. And I was like, you know what? I'm putting that thing on the back because other than that, it's just like this white, dreary, nothing background. It kind of just was not what I wanted it to be. And it's the American flag. I love the American flag. I think it's awesome, which then, patriotic, we vote. Yesterday was the voting day and today the results were in. And boy, if you're watching this, you know the results. Probably, I would assume, if you're from America. But even the rest of the world seemed to really care about who won this one. This one seemed pretty important. They always do seem important. They always kind of, oh, yes, it's going to be the end of the world. It's never the end of the world, though. When the election happens, though, things change, and things will change now, I suppose. Hopefully, no matter what, for the better. That'd be awesome. We'd love that. I'd love that. Maybe we can focus on some stuff. Again, as I always say, right here. There's plenty of potholes in our communities. That's a metaphor for just problems. And we could be fixing them, and we should be, and hopefully that's what this person chooses to do and the people that they affiliate themselves with. That would be very nice. I'd like that. Please do that. That's about as preachy as I get politically. But I was... Oh, man. So sometimes I know... See, the thing is like I know a bunch of people that I like and respect, that really get deep into the politics, and they instantly just explode with political ideas in my face. And even if I agree with you, hold on, chill out a bit. And it's like whenever they get a toehold in, they're tearing the door open and screaming to shout into my ear and my world. And it makes it less agreeable to me. Even if I was there, I find myself pulling away. Well, gosh, boy, maybe I'll rethink my opinion. Your opinion is so strong, it kind of covers the both of us. Maybe I need to reassess things a bit. Do you ever feel like that? It drives me nuts. I don't think it has to be that way. It never felt like that when I was younger. But again, that's a young person looking at older people and thinking they had it all together. Didn't you do that? Or at least thought they were doing way the heck better than you were when you were young? However, so here's what I was thinking. I wrote this down because before anybody judges that I have an opinion about parties, I do, but I don't share that here because I think that that's your business. That's in my house business. My wife and I share those ideas together, and that's about it. Maybe I'll share it with my good buddy Andy. But that's, it doesn't expand further than that because it doesn't have to. You're going to have your opinion of stuff and I'm going to have mine. This is an opinion show in a way, but it's not that kind of a political opinion. All right. Yeah, beat it to death. However, have you seen these signs, these "We Believe" yard signs? Those are a bit much. Now, we worked for... So this was a couple months ago, and Tim Kelly and I, we get up to this house, and right as we're walking up to the door, he nudges my elbow and tilts his head over the way, and I look, and there's a "We Believe" yard sign. Now it says things like, I wrote it down, "We believe Black Lives Matter." Of course, it's pretty obvious. Sure, why wouldn't they? Was that ever called into question? I'm lost. Now I know that we had these other things that made a ton of money off of saying that. A small amount of people made a ton of money saying that. And then a lot of other people said it and made nothing. That's how it seems to work with all these kind of like sayings that don't, we've become a talky talk and not much of a doy do nation of people, and just the people, the communities. And then they say, no human is illegal. I don't even know what that means. I know what it's saying. Here's the thing. I know what every single one of these is saying, but it feels, all right, so let me continue with it, and then so it says, again, we believe Black Lives Matter. Self-evident, yes. We believe no human is illegal. Okay. Illegal to what? But, all right. Love is love. What? Isn't that... You're saying the same thing twice. Yeah, love is love. What else? Water's wet? This guy... Up is up, down is down too? Where are we? Red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish? All right. Women's rights are human rights. Science is real. Science is real? I took it in school. Of course it's real. That one, see, and then water is life. Water is life. Water is life. Carbon is life. We are carbon life forms. So to make up this life, it's carbon and some other stuff, probably moon dust, maybe. If you're a big banger, moon dust and carbon. But water is life. You mean if I don't have water, I can't live long? Sure. I think you only have like 4 days or 7 days or something. I don't know. 4 days. It's more than 4 days. 4 days, you probably start losing your bloody mind if you haven't had a drop of water, and you're probably close to death. But I think it's like 7 days to kill you. But that's not very bloody long without water. Water is life. Sure. Here's the thing. Tim and I arrive, and we see that, and we have a decision to make, which is we can go in and go, hey, we're dealing with two idiots who are stating the obvious, and obviously are stating it because they want their neighbors to know that they're a certain political affiliation. By the way, this is not 2 weeks ago. This is not 6 months ago. It was like last year. I think I originally started by saying a while back. What I mean is like last year. So in between political cycles, these people have this sign in their yards right by their front door. They want anyone walking up to see it. That's fine, I guess, but it is a bit weird. And it reminds me, and maybe this has been said before, so I'm not trying to repeat somebody else or plagiarize, but it feels a bit like some of the catechisms we would say when we were kids in the church. It feels very like bumpa 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 bump. I believe the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I believe that Jesus died and went and was buried. I believe that he went to hell and then was resurrected, and I believe, all that. We don't have to go through the whole thing. In fact, I can't remember it. Sorry. We don't do that anymore. I don't do that. I go to a non-denominational church. We do say things together from time to time. That's what I'm saying. Like, this kind of stuff feels a bit substitute. It feels like a substitute for the hole inside that somebody might feel if they're non-religious. But then again, some people say, hey, whoa, everybody, chill out if you're upset already. Again, this is just a thought process. This is just a thinking podcast. I see things and I go, gosh, that's interesting. I should expand on that in my own head, and I should film myself doing it or record myself doing it. That's what I do. So please just chill out. If you're here, I'm not here to hate. In fact, it says, love is love. Just love. Love. What if we just said that all the time? What's that? Being John Malkovich, when he goes inside of his own head and everybody's him, and he's like, oh, this is freaking me out. And it's like, John Malkovich. Hey, John Malkovich. Like, love is love. 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 It feels a bit like that. But it also feels a bit religious. And we had a choice to make. What are we going to do? Are we going to leave? No, we need the money. Are we going to sit there and judge these people the whole time? No, because we're going to be there for days. We had to paint the entire interior of this house, and then we're going to be home. And we had to do some ceilings and stuff too. Like we were there I think we were there Monday through Friday, and maybe even into Monday or the following Monday or something. Like this is a big house, 2-story house, a lot of stuff to paint. We're painting all the doors, all the trim, all the everything. Not every ceiling, but darn near. You start painting at that level, and it takes time, especially when it's only a couple guys. So rather than get all stuffy and goofball and weird and then maybe be jerks to these people that we thought, it's a bit genuflecty, and I don't like that. That's not for me. It's like when somebody puts the I voted and they keep walking around with it for like the next day. They want everyone to know and they post it. Chill out. Good. Me too. I did. Of course I did. So did my wife, and we when our 22-year-old voted son, and our 12-year-old got to do a fake vote at school, and that was fun too, I think. But like, you're going to put this crap in your yard? I have an American flag out front of the house. That's it. We don't put up other flags. Why? Why, Johnny? I just don't need I'm trying to represent Jesus to people, and trying to just be a nice neighbor. I want to be kind to my neighbors. I want to get along with everybody because you might need them someday. And it just seems like when you put a stake in the ground and you say, ugh, it just seems like you've made a decision that says a certain amount of people around me, this is in their face, in your face. And I feel like that's certainly not who we want to be. So we don't do that. Anyways, we went into this house and we were kind. I remember I said, after we'd knocked the door and spoken with them, and they're very nice. I'd already earned this business, so now we're there to work for them. And when I earned the business, I had gotten a reference from another neighbor. And I hadn't really noticed the sign when I did the estimate, because I believe both husband and wife were outside when I arrived. I gave them a time and I was there. I'm always timely. By the way, if I say 3 o'clock, I'm going to be there at 2:58 or sooner. I hate being late. I think I've mentioned that in this podcast before. So when we went back out after we had kind of chatted them and looked things through, and then we walk out to start loading in gear, and I remember saying to Tim, like, let's just be cool, dude. They seem pretty nice. He goes, yeah, for sure. And that's it. And then we were just cool, and they gave us more work, and now they recommend us to everybody. And I don't have to nag on them or not like them because they got a sign in their yard that I think is pretty dumb. I mean, I think like they were kind people in their own way. Clearly there's some sort of need to present this stuff, and it's not my business, and it's not my place to get all upset about it. So I didn't, and we didn't. And then they had me make them I do woodworking also. And they had me make a table for them. So that's how much more business I got just from being simply not naggy and gross and mean, So anyways, but I don't like the sign. Love is love, is love, is love, is love. Okay, all right. No human is illegal. If we're talking about people illegally coming to a country, we'd be mad if it was any other country. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. It just is pretty obvious. We protect other borders for other places. They don't let people in, and we go, yeah, you shouldn't let those people in. And in fact, if somebody goes over that border, we're going to give you bombs and bullets to protect it. But our border doesn't have to be. That just doesn't, I'm not adding up. I got a fence around the yard. I don't want other animals coming in my yard. I got animals here, and they could hurt them. So I put large fences where there's small animals that need protection. I bring them in every night, and I close up all the stuff for them so that critters can't get in there that would harm them, because I want them protected, because I care about them. And it starts to feel to me like none of our politicians care about us, or they'd close things up and protect us like I do my animals, because I want them to live and thrive. Right? Does that make sense? Is that too political? Maybe. Sorry. Okay. Well, let's get to this right here. Look at that. Beneath that is a trench of a cut. Can we talk about how sharp sheeted aluminum is? Oh, gosh. I was like, we took off enclosure on the back of our house. I took off. By speaking of neighbors, speaking of building bridges with neighbors, two of my neighbors came. One of them has a tractor. We tied all these ropes and chains to the old structure on my house, and we tore it down. It was awesome. However, it left a ton of sheet metal, and I threw most of it beyond the fence, and within 6 hours, somebody picked all of it up. All of it up. But there was still some that was like attached that I had to get I had to bust out my grinder with a metal cutting wheel, and I had to cut all those little pieces off. And so I had some extra stuff, and I'm trying to like pack it down and smash it because it's all like deformed from tearing it up. And I'm flattening it out and I'm stuffing it in the garbage, and I'm kind of pushing this piece around, and it wasn't even like, I was like, ah! It was nothing violent or quick. All I did was like pull my arm back, and kind of in the process of pulling it back, it cut so deep. You know when you cut deep and it just looks like white meat? It doesn't even bleed right away. It's just like, it flays open. If you ever flayed a fish, it's like that. And it's like, this stuff going to start spilling out. Like material, like actual stuff, not just blood. I'm saying like, it looked like whatever's hidden inside of my arm is going to fall out too. Gosh, and it doesn't look like it. Here's the point though. This is where I'm going with it, is like, the aluminum cuts so deep and so fast, but so precisely that it was like a razor cut. I instantly reached out. I seen it, freaked out for half a second, started sweating. Instantly started sweating. I'm not like scared of blood either. It's a reaction that my body instantly had. Something in my mind said, oh, crap. But I didn't freak out. I knew what to do. I just pinched it right away and then elevated it, and then went to the garage and found like a rag to then put on it, clean rag to put on it, pinched it. And thankfully at the same moment I was walking out of the garage, having just pinched it together with the rag and catching the blood that's starting to really flow, there's my wife. Hey, honey. And she's like, cut yourself again? What do you mean again? Yes. You don't have to say it like that, though. Jeez. She's like, all right, come on. We go in, and I swear my wife intentionally doesn't use hydrogen peroxide. She uses the alcohol, and she just pours that stuff on there. I'm like, yeah, that'll do. And she goes, oh, shut up. Like, chill out. I know. Just calm down. Jeez. So that was funny. And she's the one that kind of bandaged us up. And then 5 seconds later, I hopped in the shower because I was dirty from moving that stuff around, from cutting all this stuff up. And then the Band-Aids started spilling, and it started bleeding again. She goes, I got to wrap this again. Are you done for the night? Can you stop moving around and stuff? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Anyway, oh, good. We got time. Oh, sorry. So Andy and I were talking the other day. I watched the movie. Oh, gosh. I almost don't want to get into this. Let me see what I have written. I wrote a couple episodes again already. See, here's what happens is things get, this is where we're at. Things get busy around here, and all of a sudden 4 days have passed, and I go, gosh, and then I'm 5 days in a row making videos, and I'm right back ahead again. But things kind of happen. You get off for a couple of days, and you're like, geez, and I just compile little ideas, just on top of each other. I'm a little idea factory. They're not always interesting. By the way, I'm reading down again. Science is real. Huh? Who put together this sign? Who did it? Just, can you chill out, you? I know. You're very angry at your dad. Me too. Please, you couldn't possibly be as angry at your dad as I am for producing you. Did I say that out loud, or did I think it? I'm sorry. I meant exactly what I said. I'm mad at him too. Maybe I'm not as mad as you are. You're clearly way more mad. You took the time to make that sign. A sign of self-evident things that you mean something else by the way. Because none of this stuff means what it says. And that's the weird part of it, is that it becomes this other thing that they then want to like test you on. Oh, you think science is real? Did you take the vax? Whoa, hold on. Are we talking? Wait, what kind of science are we talking? What are we talking about here? I like science. I love science. I watch it all the time. If I'm watching YouTube, I'm looking for science stuff or like universe stuff. Is universe still science? I love that stuff. Or like, I love scale stuff. So it'd be like, how big is the sun compared to, what are those gas giants that are in different universes? I love that stuff. I'll watch that AI stuff all day long, all night long. One of my favorite, I understudied in geology. I love science. Science is great. You don't mean science when you say this. You want to like test my affiliation. Shut up. Get away from me with that crap. I never get involved in it. The minute somebody tried a guy, all right, screw it. We're not talking about the movie. I'm talking about this. It's my podcast, darn it. I had this guy. I like this guy. I'm going to try to be careful here because I really like him. I think he's cool. He goes to the gym I go to. And I think I've mentioned this before. My gym's in a small little town. It's almost exclusively elderly, or I shouldn't say elderly. I should say retired people because I live in Central Florida. Out here in the countryside, it's all retired folk that live out here. They're all awesome. They're all busy and they're all pretty fit. Like, you don't see a lot of obesity out here unless it's in the youth. Something to be said for that. Hopefully, we can do something about that. I seen that RFK Jr. is going to take some sort of position here now that the election's over. I hope he'll start helping people really understand health. Wouldn't that be great? He looks great. Did you ever see that image of him with his shirt off? Dude's jacked. He's like 68. He is killing it. Anyway, I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. He's a super nice guy. I chat with him every time I see him in there. He always smiles, and then it makes me feel joyful. And he comes up to me, and he just has a political opinion, and he's seen something. He's seen something on TV, and it's got him fired up, and he wants to make sure I think the same thing. And he's kind of rattling it off. And what I'll do, if I like somebody and they're trying to be political, I'll give them, that initial burst of energy that's checking to see if you agree initially. And then if you give them any sort of agreement, then it's off to the races. Or if you disagree, then it's also off to the races in a different direction. But I don't do either of those things. I'll patiently wait. And I'll wait the statement through, because that's what everybody's doing. They're making a statement, and they're checking your affiliation. Do you agree with me? If you don't, it's going to be a problem. If you do, it's for me personally, as someone that doesn't like to talk about that stuff, it's a problem too. So it's a problem either way. And I've solved, at least for myself, in the majority of situations, how to kind of avoid this stuff. And what I will do is give them about 90 seconds. I'm just like, oh, I didn't see that. Yeah. Can you unpack it for me just a little bit? In 90 seconds or less. And I'll just kind of be patient, and I'll listen to it, and I'll go, wow, that's interesting. What would somebody that disagrees say? Oh, okay. Now, and I try to keep that to about 90 seconds too. So now I've given them 3 minutes of speaking time. And then I'll go, gosh, that's interesting. I really don't focus on any of those things. Do you ever, and then that's my opportunity to throw in the thing that I've actually been thinking about for 3 minutes, because really I'm not listening. I've shut my mind off to that stuff. I don't care about it. It doesn't help me. It doesn't help my new budding relationship with a person in either direction. Because if I go with it, oh yeah, cool. Oh yeah, me too. Well, then they think I'm interested in that stuff, and now they're going to bring it up the next 50 times they see me. Boy, let's just nip this thing in the bud right here. And then the second thing would be if I disagree, now it's fighting time. What? Their opinion of me changes. I'm not who they thought I was. I've had relatives curse me at a table before because I was dumb enough to state an opinion on something that they were politically charged up about. And really, in hindsight, and even they'll admit now because we've reconciled, because I'm a reconciler, I hate fighting. I hate having long fights with people. It doesn't produce any of the outcomes that I love in life, which is family relationships and just relationships. And what I'm saying is you should be attempting. I always attempt. You do whatever you want. I attempt to let them burst a little bit of that initial energy off the top, just out of respect and out of curiosity and like for the individual. I start thinking in my head about something else that I've previously spoken. Now, if this is just a stranger, they can buzz right off. Obviously, don't even waste your time. Instantly, we're on to anything political. Bye. We can't. I can't be a stranger and I meet you and the first thing you want to talk about is politics, unless I'm in the polling booth today. Even then, it's like, yuck. Who are you? Get away from me. I'm trying to do my own thing by myself. Get out of here. But somebody that knows me or whatever, I'm already thinking about something else that they like, and then I'm gonna go, oh, okay. Gosh, I never thought about that. Hey, I'm sorry, off topic. Fly fishing. You've gone fly fishing. Did you say did you go to Missouri when you went fly fishing? That sounds not right. Where did you say? Oh, Montana. Missouri. Is there fly fishing in Missouri? Oh, there is. Holy smokes. How long have you been fly fishing for? Yeah? Like, it seems like something you could, and then there you are. You're already talking about it, and I'm already interested in that. And by me engaging heavily with the next subject matter that they're super into, because I've spoken to them multiple times, that they'll never get back around to that political thing. And I'm washed of it. They're washed of it for me. And I've already implanted, it's almost like Inception. This guy's not into this. And rarely am I approached with it. In fact, the same relative who was upset with me, I would never mention their name because we're good buddies now. Again, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, the reconciliation power of God. They'll even start to tiptoe, and then they realize quickly and go, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. That's right. That's not for you. You don't like that stuff. And I go, it's not that I don't. I haven't. No. I'm sorry. And I go, no sweat. And then that one is tricky too. And what I'll do in that position is I always have something else, because that person I already know specifically is into so many other things that I'm into. And we have such a great dynamic and relationship. Like his entire life and my entire life have a lot of similarities. So we have all these other stuff. So instantly I'm just like, oh wait, you were saying da 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 last time we spoke. I deflate their, because they get a little bit like embarrassed that they bring it back up again. I've seen it. You get a little bit like, oh crap, he doesn't like this. And instantly I try to extinguish that feeling of embarrassment and get them onto a topic that brings them joy and me joy. And then we're back in a joyful space together. And it was only one time actually with that individual that person ever slipped into it a bit and quickly realized it on their own, and I didn't have to do anything and they didn't have to do anything. It was beautiful. And now we're still just awesome friends. Oh gosh, that is so again, that was a whole bunch I talked a lot about this sign. The sign just really gets me. And in this political season really has so many opportunities to be negative. And I didn't have negative experiences this time. And I have in the past, admittedly. I didn't always follow these kind of, guardrails for relationships that I've been enacting now, because I've just been so much more intentional on really building strong friendships and relationships with people, because boy, it sure matters a lot. And the older I get, the more I realize how important those are. And they're really everything. They are the best, the most valuable currency you're ever going to have. Because when you, or if you, God forbid, if you ever find yourself down, you ever find yourself without, it is those relationships that you've fortified that will give you the things you'll need in those moments of desperation every single time. So, boy, that was a little UPD, wasn't it? Kind of near the end there. UPD. What's UPD? Untrained Philosophical Discussionists. It's myself and a good buddy of mine, Andy Lamb, smart guy. We do this podcast together. It's a men's Christian podcast where we try to dissect big ideas in about an hour and 20 minutes. We philosophize some of our own takes on biblical principles, and then we try to apply modern day examples from our own lives, the mistakes we've made. So it's a fun exploration. And I always thought it was for men, but gosh darn it, don't we get women that really enjoy it too, and then have shared it with their husbands or brothers. We've seen both of those. We've seen a lot of those emails that come through, or messages on some of the social stuff that is getting done. And anyways, check that one out if you haven't already. And if you like this one, this is Lofty Thoughts, Johnny Hansen's Lofty Thoughts. This was episode 76. And if you like it, please subscribe. Gosh, I need more subscribers. I'm trying to put this stuff out, and it's nice when people like it and go, hey man, this is not too shabby. And the same thing with the other one. So if you like this, you'll like that one too, I would assume. Maybe you can check it out though. UPD, Untrained Philosophical Discussions. And this little guy here is called Johnny Hansen's Lofty Thoughts. And I thank you so much for joining me today. And I'll get back at you real soon here because I got some more stuff to write. It just kind of fits into a different category, and I didn't want to go there while starting in this way. Anyway, boy, that's a lot of explaining. Don't I do that? My wife says I explain too much. It's maybe true. I pray that you have a deep and a fulfilling relationship with Jesus, though. And I pray that he blesses you all the days of your life. Have a great afternoon. I'll catch up with you soon.